Haley, good morning.
Good morning.
Would you introduce yourself, ma'am? Tell us your name and your DOC number.
Hello, my name is Elaine Bailey, and my DOC number is 409426.
Ma'am, that's what I have. And let's see. Warden, you have
We,
any
one addition from the
support?
last hearing, we do have Alicia Murray. She's our mental health director sitting in as well.
Thank you. Let me tell you, Miss Bailey, who we have here today in support with us in Baton Rouge. We have your son Randall, your daughter Alicia, Kiera Bailey, your daughter Rose Nixon, your sister Candace Davis, daughter-in-law, son-in-law John Bolden, grandson Randall Bailey Jr., your nieces Alexandra Nixon and Barshika Stampley, as well as your brother-in-law John Randall. On Zoom, you can see we have the Parole Project. Here with us in Baton Rouge, also in opposition, we have representing the victim, Alexis Antoine, Sandra Nelson, Carla Antoine, and Mary Antoine. First, Ms. Bailey, I'm going to read some information into the record. I'm going to ask you if it's accurate, and then I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Tillis, who is seated to my far left. Your case has been assigned to him, so he'll take the lead on the interview and gathering the information. You ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Ms. Bailey, you're here today seeking a commutation of your sentence. You were sentenced in East Baton Rouge Parish in February of 1999 for a second-degree murder conviction. You're serving life. Is that information correct?
Correct. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. Mr. Tillis?
Good morning, Miss Bailey. How are you?
Hello. Good morning.
Could you tell us why, what has caused you to be here today and why we should vote to recommend your commutation of sentence?
Yes. I think that I'm a different person from that person back in 1999. I was um a different person back then. I think I'm a better person now because I have learned more values in life. Life, I have taken life more serious. I have bettered myself. I have gone to church more often, except to the point when I broke my leg. It kind of hindered me from going to church. It kind of laid me down in the infirmary a while, and that kind of hindered me from doing the things I did. I have many certificates, and I was doing every program that they had. Once I completed one program, I continued to do uh programs like the drug program, for instance. I never did drugs, uh, except when I was a teenager. Every teenager tried marijuana, and I tried it, but I didn't like it. So that was the only introduction of marijuana that I tried, of drugs that I tried, and I never tried anything else, nor do I want to try. But like the drug program, because I have children at home, and because Antoine was a drug addict, that allowed him to come in and ended up losing his life because of being on drugs. of coming in and beating me and causing me to do what I did to him. And I'm very, very sorry that he had to lose his life because I was scared I was going to lose my life or me and my children was going to lose our lives. And I didn't know which way to go back then. I didn't know what to do. So every day, every Sunday, I just kept going and kept going and kept going. I worked 2 jobs trying to take care of my children. I got closer to God. I got closer and closer to God. If my mother was living today, she would tell you that I clung to her. And she made sure I was in church every Sunday. I dressed my children up and took them to church every Sunday. When I got off from work, I worked the night shift doing center work because I was a nurse. I went to Spencer College for a while, and I went to Baton Rouge Beauty College, and I got a degree. And okay, that's it. Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I've read your file and gone through it. What can you tell us about Miss Elaine?
Miss Bailey lives in our assisted living housing unit. She does have a few medical issues and some mental health issues. We did bring Miss Murray in if you do have any questions that are specifically related to her mental health diagnosis or medication concerns. I know Mr. Blake is on the call or in the hearing today. If you have any questions, she would work with the Parole project for a pretty solid transition plan if we did get to that point.
Could we hear her recommendation?
The Miss Murray, the mental health director?
Yes.
Okay.
Miss Bailey, I've known her for about 7 years. She is consistent with her medication. I see her regularly once a month or more. She talks with the mental health department regularly as we make rounds weekly. Normally, if there's an issue, she knows how to contact myself or anyone in the department. If she is released, I believe that as long as she gets her follow-up mental health treatment, she will do fine out in society.
She takes her medication daily, or she does it herself, or someone administers it to her?
I believe she goes to pill call for her pills, and she gets an injection.
Correct. And this is what's really concerning to me. With her mental health meds, have y'all had disciplinary actions on her while she was taking them?
Maybe in the past, but her medications have been adjusted, and since she's been on this particular regimen of medication, we haven't had any disciplinary issues with her.
I know probation and parole stated when they interviewed her, they were still kind of worried.
They were worried about her?
Yeah, well, I mean, they just said that it didn't seem like she was totally on her meds. I guess maybe just because of the talking and the rambling, I don't know. But anyway, I just wanted to see if she'd had any violence while on the medication.
No.
Okay, thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
Sorry, Mr. Tillis, along those lines while we have Ms. Murray. So I noticed when I review the conduct record that things started changing in 2021 was her last write-up. So is that when her medication became stabilized? Or do you know? Or is that just something she's adjusted better to prison life?
At that point, yes. Her medication, that's when she began getting an injection.
Okay.
Okay, that's
Okay.
right.
I was gonna ask a question.
Because I noticed that up until that point, she had many write-ups for fighting defiance and aggravated disobedience, and then all of a sudden it stopped.
Yes.
So I guess that's when the injection began.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
I was gonna ask a question, if you don't mind. Yes, I was gonna ask another question along the line of mental health. She's in that housing facility, and like you said, y'all do weekly checks on a person, and then they go for their pills, and then injection monthly for sure. But what would happen in the sense of which is so common, a person gets out and suddenly they don't want that injection any longer. They don't want those pills any longer. There is no one to make that happen for them like there is behind y'all's situation. Can you see that possibly happening in this situation? Because it's very common.
Well, if she will be with the Parole Project and working with the Parole Project, and they're making sure that she gets to her mental health appointments as scheduled, then I don't see that that's what happened.
Okay, all right, thank you very much.
All right, thank you. We'll move on. Mr. Blake?
Good morning to this honorable board. Channing Blake with Louisiana Parole Project, appearing on behalf of Miss Elaine Bailey. Because of her participation in religious activities, she's a member of the Lifers Association, and because of her programming and the classes that she's taken, we've accepted her into our program. Should the board give her a favorable recommendation today, we'll give her reentry services that include transitional housing, mental health evaluations, healthcare guidance and connections, social norms, and many more. She will also be assigned to a reentry specialist that's going to guide her through her reentry process. So based upon her rehabilitation and her strong support system, we ask that you grant her a favorable recommendation today. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And now we hear from her son, Mr. Bailey Randall.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for giving me this moment to speak today. My name is Randall Bailey. I'm the oldest son of Elaine Bailey. I'm here because I'm asking for a chance for my mom to come home. Before I talk about who my mom is, I want to share a little bit about what life was when I was a child. The shape, everything that came after me. Growing up, I witnessed a lot of violence in our home. I was very young, but I remember clearly. I remember trying to call 911 more than once and being stopped. I remember the injuries, the times my mom avoided visiting family because she didn't want them to see bruises. Some people say things were different, but I can only speak to what I saw and lived through. As a kid, I never had a chance to share my side of what was happening inside those walls. I just carried it. That experience affected all of us, my mom included. I don't say any of this to excuse anything that happened later, but to explain the environment we were living in and my pain and the pain my mom was trying to survive. My mom has now been incarcerated for 28 years. That's most of my life. And in that time, I watched her face her past. She's taking responsibility and she feels deep remorse for the choices she made. I know she carries that weight every day. I've also seen real change in her. She's been programmed, stayed out of trouble, really work on herself. When I talk to her now, I hate someone who understands the harm, who is wrong, and who wants to spend whatever time she has left making things right in ways she can. I know she's not the same person she nearly was, she was nearly 3 decades ago. I hope that in time, others affected can some live some peace to, can find some sense of peace to. The truth is, none of us have unlimited time. I want the chance to have a real relationship with my mom outside of a prison setting. To talk without a timer, to sit together, without a go nearby, to share a meal like a normal family. I want to experience some of those things while I still have a chance. I'm not asking anyone to overlook our past. I'm asking for the possibility of a different future, one where my mom can spend the rest of her life surrounded by family who are ready to support her, and where we can continue healing her. Thank you for listening, and thank you for considering my mom for things.
Let me ask you a question. If your mother was released, or your sister,
With my sister, definitely, yes, sir.
make sure she gets some meds and all that?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. Thank you.
Questions?
I'd like to hear from Miss Alicia Bailey now.
My name is Alicia Bailey. I'm the middle child of Elaine Bailey. I appreciate the opportunity to share my heart, my experiences, and my hopes as you consider my mother's request for clemency. My mother been incarcerated for 28 years and 6 months. I was very young when my father was lost, and my mother was taken away. I want to say first that I acknowledge the seriousness of what happened. I lost my father, and that's a pain that has shaped me in ways I will carry forever. There is no way to change the past, and I have spent years of my life wishing that he was still here. I also wish that my father's side of the family could fully understand how deeply I grieve him and how I deeply I long for the presence of my mother. Both of those truths exist in me at the same time. Over the years, I have come to forgive my mother. But forgiveness did not erase my hurt, but allowed my heart to heal and it allowed me to rebuild a relationship with her. I know who my mother is today. Not only the person who she was nearly 3 decades ago. From every conversation we shared, from every letter, every visit, I see a woman who is grown, she's reflected, and she's taking responsibility. She worked tirelessly to become the best version of herself under extremely difficult circumstances. I have lived most of my life without my mother's guidance, without her hands to hold, during my hardest moments, without her voice to help me navigate the world. These years have been incredibly long at times. Every birthday, every milestone, every challenge has been a reminder of space that she should have been able to fill. My heart breaks every year that I get older because I just feel like there's one more year lost that I could have had with my mom. I might not ever get that back. I'm at a point in my life that I need my mother more than ever. I want the chance to get a life until I can still have time. I want her to be able to be a mother, a grandmother, a family member outside prison walls. I want her to experience the healing and rebuilding that she can only have at home, surrounded by people who love her. I believe my mother has paid a very heavy price for her age, and I believe she has genuinely transformed. I'm asking with all of my ability and sincerity I can offer that she can give her a chance to come home, not just for her, but for me, for our family, and for the future that we might still have together. Thank you for your time to hear my voice, feel my mother's responsibility.
Thank you so much. Miss Bailey, you have your other daughter. How do you pronounce that? Kiara Bailey. You have Rose Nixon, your sister. Candace Davis, your daughter-in-law. Did you say the? Okay, I'm sorry. So she knows who it is. So now we'll hear from the opposition. Parole?
Yes. Good morning. My name is Carla Antoine. I am the voice of my brother Patrick Antoine, the deceased. I'm here to speak on his behalf that once his life was stolen from him, he was asleep. She took that pill and put behind his head and she killed him. They say he was on drugs. He was just a man that went to work. Any man that get off of work that drank a cold beer from a hard day's work. They never had no complaints. They did a thoroughly neighborhood. They never had a 911 call came out of there. saying it was a domestic violence. They did have one say it was because of the firecracker was disturbing the neighbors. Other than that, I just feel that we don't have our brother. My mama don't have her son. He was my big brother. Times I need my brother. I lost a child. Sometimes I want my brother to hug on and go talk to him. And I don't have that anymore. I never get that back. She stole his life. He was a man asleep. She put the pillow behind his head. She bought the gun in April. She killed him in June. Then she started acting like she was had mental problems. She sent his family through the whole lot. She did a mistrial. She tried to cut her wrist down there. She just put this family through a lot. Our judge was Tony Clayton. He even was upset. And all I'm asking that she finish her life sentence because we got to finish live our life without my brother. And I miss my brother. When he met her, she had one little boy. His name Randy. He was good to her. After they didn't get along, he moved out. My mommy and I helped them get an apartment. We fixed it up. She kept going over there. She finally got him back to moving to her house because it was her apartment, not his. And after that, she killed my brother. And I asked that you take that in consideration because I'll never get my brother again. And my mama grieved right today because she don't have a son. My mama 85 years old. Sometimes she could use her son. I could use my brother. And that's all I'm asking. And Alicia, I'm sorry this happened. And I love y'all, but I miss my brother. Thank y'all.
Thank you. Next we'll have Miss Mary Antoine, the mother.
Thank you. I hope I got get back here to talk. My son is not here. He's not gonna never come in my life no more. I miss him for the holidays. With all my kids and us be together. He's always one missing. I can never see him no more. I let her know why she think that she can get a chance, a second chance, to come out and live her life. And when my son will never be here to take that chance when she's asking for.
Thank you so much. Miss Alexis Anton, wish to speak now, niece.
Bear with me, I'm sorry. Good morning. I had no intention to come to speak, but seeing me laying on the screen brought back memories from me being a child. These are people we're talking about had Christmas tree for in November. Like I used to babysit these 3 kids right here. She said she was abused, this, that, and the third, but there's no reports, no calls coming out the home. And I feel like it was selfish, not only to her children, I'm sorry, y'all, my cousins, but it is what it is. Not only selfish to her children, but to my family and my grandmother as well. My grandmother didn't get to grow with her grandchildren on that side from her son. My uncle was like a dad to me, because I never had a dad. So I've always was in and out the house babysitting them, pay me for babysitting them, things like that. And she stole that from him. She stole his life. She stole him from us. Like my brother just said, holidays come around. Growing up, he was the only one missing. Not only me, but I have cousins that looked up to her as well. And she took that from us. She was selfish with her kids, because she took that from them as well. If there was any abuse going on, nothing was documented. I mean, nothing. The first thing she said when she got on the screen was, I think. Thinking and knowing are 2 different things, because just because you think you're a better person, you can't even say that you know that you're a better person. So that right there just moved me over, because if I know that I did something in the past and I know that I'm a better person, I'm not going to use the word think. It's a lot of tension between the families. But at the end of the day, it was a decision that she chose, and I don't feel like we should have to suffer because she want to come home. We can't get there. We got to go, like my mom said, we got to go the rest of our life without seeing my uncle. Just like that, to go the rest of their life without seeing their dad. She come home today, tomorrow she can play with her grandchildren, she can go on with her children. What can my uncle do? Besides get flowers placed at his grave. But like I said, I didn't come here with the intention to speak on anything because it's my first time ever coming. I'm 41 years old. It's my first time ever participating in this, and it made me very emotional to hear a second-degree murder from Elaine. Like I said, these are people that had Christmas trees full in November. And for it to turn out like that and say drugs and this, that, and the third, to cover a premeditation, basically, because like my mom said, you brought that gun in April, you killed this man in June. You killed this man while he was asleep. He was unaware, he didn't see it coming, so you stole a life. So why should hers be given back to him? Why should she be placed back into society?
Thank you. Thank
She
you.
can't even say that she knows she changed. She thinks she changed. So
Thank
that's
you so
how I
much.
feel. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any other questions? I've read through my case that.
I just have one question. How many children are for both parents? Two. I needed to know.
Okay. I'd like to ask one question.
Three.
Why'd you kill this fella?
Because he was beaten. He came in from an all-nighter, had been drugging and drinking. Me and my kids were eating breakfast at the table, and he came in and jumped on me and beat me. He hit me behind the head and knocked me out. I ran into the door frame and I was knocked out. I had just took my medicine that morning, and the force from being knocked out and taking the medication, I didn't remember what happened until the police arrested me and put me in the back of the police car and told me that I had killed him.
Okay,
And took me downtown.
thank you.
Yeah, I wanted to ask the warden, did she get a degree at the beauty college, her certificate?
Yes, I have a license.
Okay.
I was doing hair every day.
That was prior to her being incarcerated, so.
All right, already had
I'm
your
legally
license.
licensed. I'm legally licensed by the Louisiana State Board of Cosmetology as of my arrest.
Okay, good. That's something I wanted to ask about.
Yes. And I had went to Spencer College, and I was doing city work when I wasn't. I had small children that I had to take care of because Patrick didn't give me no money. I had to take care of the children and myself and pay the bills because.
Elaine. You did good.
Okay.
That's good. Thank you very much.
I have just one, Mr. Tillis. So, Miss Elaine, why'd you buy the gun in April?
Because somebody tried to break into my house, and I was the only one taking care of the children because Patrick was gone all the time. And I bought the gun to protect me and my children from vandals. They had flattened 3 of my tires on my car and busted my window pane out. And Patrick did get my car fixed, but that was a sign to help me to protect me and my children from vandals.
Okay, well,
That's
thank
why
you.
I bought the gun. I bought the gun to protect us, me and my children, from vandals.
Thank you. That's all I got, Mr. Tillis.
It was just.
I don't see any other questions, Miss Bailey. Are we prepared to vote?
Yes, I am.
I
Mr.
did
Tillis
have a.
voting first.
May I say
No.
something?
Well,
did have.
We're good.
we're done. We're gonna be voting. Mr. Tillis?
Yes, ma'am.
Miss Bailey, going through your case, and there's just no real winner here. Hearing your son say what he did when sold means a lot to me. I mean, he was there, and his testimony. Your doctor has given us a statement, and it seems like the medication that you're on now is helping you. My vote is going to be to grant and recommend that the Louisiana Parole
So your vote is to commute to 99 with a parole eligibility?
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Stapleton?
I agree with Mr. Tillis. When I heard the son speak, I worked in dispatch, so when you get a 911 call from a child, they're terrified. And I've answered those types of calls. So that rang true to me, and like I've said, it's something that takes place behind closed doors. It doesn't take place in the open. So a lot of times people don't know, and women hide their bruises and different things like that. So I would like to see you on this medication longer, because in 2021 you had this turnaround, and I know that it's a difficult medical disorder. So give you a little bit more time with the injection and get used to it and stuff like that. That's what I'd like to see. So my vote today is to commute to 99 years with parole eligibility. Is that correct?
Mr. Gray?
My vote is to deny. I think the safety of the public is something that we need to really take into consideration. And I'm not convinced that this might not happen again. I'm gonna serve 26, 27 years of a life sentence. And less than that.
Okay, Mr. Freeman?
I look at it and it came down to the end and I'm like, okay, well, victims mean a lot, but then there's victims on this side, and then there's two victims over there on the other side who are in favor. My vote's gonna be worried about the medication. But we could take care of that if she's on parole. So my vote's gonna be to grant 99 years.
All right, this is a really, really difficult case. Everybody's family here, and there's no real winners here. I will say this, I asked the question, I have concerns about her behavior in prison. She's had 169 write-ups, although some of that was explained, but I see it stabilize after she got on her different medication, which seems to be helping. For me, I need to see a little more sustained period of time to know that the medication is working and that she's compliant. So my vote today, in the interest of public safety, is to deny today. So the vote has 2 denied, 3 grant. So the end result is that her application today has been denied. Good luck to you, Ms. Bailey. Stay the course and reapply when you can.
Good morning, members of the board. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak today. My name is Dr. Jasmine Patio, and my sister is Susie Patio. I came before you not only as her sibling, but someone who knows her as a second mother, someone whose supportive nature, guidance, and unconditional love shaped me and guided me through my educational journey, helping me become the person I am today. I want to begin by acknowledging the seriousness of this process and by extending my sincerest apologies for the pain which resulted from the events that bring us here. My intentions is not to minimize this pain, but to share the truth of my sister's character, her history, and the growth she has demonstrated. Throughout my life, my sister has always been the person who stepped in with compassion, stability, and strength. Whenever anyone in our family needed support, she was there. For example, during my senior year in high school, I was on the homecoming court, but my mother was ill at the time. It dampened my spirits because I wanted that motherly support for such a special milestone. Susie willingly stepped in and saved the day, something I will never forget. She has also demonstrated remarkable resilience in circumstances that would break many people. I was there with her for 2 hospital visits after she was beaten so severely that she nearly was unrecognizable. But she was treated at UNC Charity Hospital. These traumatic events left scars both seen and unseen. Yet she continued to push through with grace, never allowing pain to turn into bitterness. Her ability to survive such violence, remain loving, and continue showing up for others speak volumes of her character. I also know that to be a loving and caring mother, I know her to be a loving and caring mother. My niece Markeisha, who is her daughter, she is Susan's biggest supporter. It's still difficult for her to talk about the abuse her mother endured. So she has asked me to speak today in her place to share that her mother has been her biggest anchor behind the prison's walls. Susie also has a 7-year-old granddaughter, Ami. One of her greatest hopes is to be able to be there as Ami grows up. Members of the board today, I respectfully ask that you consider the full picture of who Susie Patio is: a survivor, a mother, a supporter, a remorseful woman who strives each day to give back more than she has given that she's ever taken. If she is granted this opportunity, I and the rest of the family will make sure she always has our full support, including a home to live in, guidance and readjusting to society, emotional support, and anything else she may need. Thank you for taking the time to hear my words today.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, and now, Ms. Coleman, we'll let you wrap it up.
Good morning. As I said earlier, my name is Ella Coleman, and I'm a student attorney for the Domestic Violence Clinic at Tulane. Thank you for your time and consideration today. I would like to start first by acknowledging 2 truths in this case. The first is that Ms. Patio took the life of a man who was truly loved by his family, a man who, despite everything, she had cared for as well. Ms. Patio knows that she caused deep pain, and for that she is tremendously remorseful. The second is that she committed this act in the context of trying to leave a dangerous, abusive relationship. Much of this context was never heard at trial. The fact that both of these are true is what makes Ms. Patio's case exceptional. So exceptional that she has the support from victims' rights groups like Faith House and Louisiana Coalition Against Domestic Violence, and so exceptional that over 2 decades later, a juror on her case is still haunted by their non-unanimous decision to convict, as reflected in her letter of support. First, I would like to address some of the critical context which the jury never heard. I know that none of this context erases the pain and that even talking about it can cause more, but it is really essential to truly understand why Ms. Patio was in such a dangerous situation that night. So we ask that the board consider what the jury did not hear. The jury did not hear that at the time of the incident, Mr. Roy had a pending charge for battery for beating Ms. Patio and an associated no contact order. They did not hear that he had 2 criminal convictions and a protective order against him for abuse of 2 prior girlfriends, or that he refused to take court-ordered batterers intervention courses. They did not hear all of the ways that Ms. Patio tried to leave and all of the ways that he prevented her from doing so, as explained by Dr. Samuelson. They never heard from a domestic violence expert who could have explained the significance of all of this, and as is now required by the Louisiana Supreme Court. Even without this critical context, the jury could not make a unanimous decision. With this context, we can see why Ms. Patio was so understandably scared on the night of the incident. We can see how a hardworking mother, beloved community member, and certified nurse's assistant got to a point so desperate that she stabbed her boyfriend. The jury did not have this critical context over 2 decades ago, but the board does today, and we ask that the board consider it when deciding Ms. Patio's future. However, even without all of this context, Ms. Patio is an excellent candidate for clemency based on her rehabilitation alone. Despite the abuse and despite a life without parole sentence, for the past 2+ decades, Ms. Patio has spent her time bettering herself and her community. We know that her institutional record is excellent because she was handpicked to serve on the advisory council. We know that she has worked hard to understand the pain that she has caused because she has been a key participant in the Crime Victims' Rights Week 2 years in a row. We know that she is a hard worker because she's obtained her GED, she's done multiple job skill classes, and has over 70 certificates total. We know that she has worked hard to process her pain because she has not only participated in domestic violence programming, but served as a mentor. She has also been in many faith-based programs, including Minutemen Prison Ministry, where she achieved salutatorian. Today, Ms. Patio processes her past using award-winning poetry, and she brings joy to the community through planning special events, like the time when she made a golf course for the children of incarcerated mothers using plastic cups and colored paper. Ms. Patio has taken advantage of every program and tool available to her to become the woman she is today, a thoughtful, remorseful, hard-working woman of faith. In closing, Ms. Patio's case is the exact type of case which clemency can address. As the Louisiana Supreme Court has stated, cases involving battered women and cases involving non-unanimous juries are the exact type which the clemency process can remedy. Also, Ms. Patio has shown to everyone who knows her that she can be a shining light in the community if given a chance. The exceptional nature of Ms. Patio's case is what makes it that not only her family supports her, but also a juror from her case and the statewide coalition against domestic violence. We ask that the board recognize Ms. Patio's exceptionality by recommending a commutation to a term of years. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now let's get to the other side, the opposition. Mr. Ronald Roy, victim's brother. Mr. Roy?
He's not speaking.
Okay. Corey Bruno's gonna speak now? Okay. Let's go with Lisa Stevens, victim's sister.
I didn't say nothing.
Lisa Stevens, I'm the sister of Roland Roy. And no, she does not need to come up because I heard everything about this and that and the other, but I never heard nothing about spirituality. Women like that doesn't change. The minute they get obsessed with a man, and what happens at the end, they kill him because they just can't reject, they can't accept rejection. She took away a man that was so good to everybody. He moved away from her to get away from, in fact, he was abused too. The hospital visit they claimed, she went home on Tylenol. He moved out of that house where she broke into, where she got the black eye from the other woman because he didn't want to be with her anymore. And where he moved that, she found him. So he didn't want to be with her anymore. He wanted to be free and raise his children. I have now been diagnosed with anxiety because I got the knock on the door whenever they came to tell the family that he was murdered. She waited till he took his last breath to call for help. She has not changed. Women like that don't change. She's gonna come out and get another man, and get rejected and kill them. She's obsessive with men. I never heard nothing about God. God heals, but I never heard she accepted God in any kind of way. He has 8 grandkids that he will never see and never saw. He has a great-grandchild that just was born. His daughter was 11 when he was taken away, and his son was 14. And my niece suffers from bipolar schizophrenia since she was 16. She started unraveling piece by piece. So she can't be here because she would not be able to do this. So I ask y'all, please. She has tore our family apart. We just had a memorial for him. He was a great guy. In spite of what they say, we give you the girl back. He tried to leave her. She saw him. And there were no bags packed in the apartment because we went there. She could have gone. The door was there. She didn't have to go back and kill him. butchered him and waited till he took his last breath to call for him. No, she don't deserve. She took a life. She should do every inch of her life. Please keep her in there. She's not changed. She will never change. Please, I ask you, keep her in there for the rest of her life. Thank you.
Okay, Miss Cheryl Broussard?
Hello, everyone. I'm the youngest family, so Lauren is my closest friend. We're like 3 years apart. When I met Susie with him, I observed, they fought. I observed one fight at their apartment, and she was not afraid. She was the aggressor, as a matter of fact. Speaking of I was survivor of domestic violence myself prior, and I know if you're scared for your life, your first instinct is to run and leave and flee. And I believe that she had every opportunity to leave, because I went to the scene, and like she claimed that he was abusing her. There was nothing turned over. That her bags was packed by the door. And if you're fighting, and especially this big bad man that you're saying, things will be just all over the place, but nothing was out of place. The only thing was the bed was turned, the shoes was on the bed in his hat, which said that he was asleep. Why? One time, another time, she was at my house, and my brother Roland had left, and she got so nervous, out of character, and saying, "Oh no, you better not be with another woman. He's with another woman. I'm gonna kill him." She told that to me in my face, and I said, "No." And I went to my brother Roland, and I said, "Look, you have to leave her. She got some mental problems, and she's gonna kill you." He brushed it off and said, "No." But the fight, I wouldn't personally. She was the aggressor. And she had a young son at the time. And he went to get that same butcher knife that she stabbed him. He came out. I witnessed this myself. When that happened, she was free. She didn't go to jail. She went to jail and was released for 2 years before trial. She was free to roam. She showed no remorse. She taunted my sister. One of my oldest sisters taunted her, so I know she got some mental problems. She was kind of upset. I feel for everybody involved. I know she has children, grandchildren, everything, but so does my brother. They can see her if they want to. They can go and visit. We can't see my brother. Nothing is going to bring him back, but it's all in you guys' hand if you feel she needs clemency. But I do believe she may or may not. I don't take a chance and let her out and see. He may do it again. But it's not a day that goes by that I do not miss my brother, think of my brother. I said it's a sad situation all around. I just think she could have chosen a different route, and she had the opportunity if she did have it. If it was the way she said it was, then I would understand, because I'm a very fair person. But it didn't happen the way she claimed it.
Okay. All right, and now we'll hear from Corey Bruno.
How's everybody? I can't speak on a lot of what agents are speaking on. I can speak on my own personal experience with this because I was young. I can honestly say that it affected me in a lot of ways. After that, I kind of like figured out on my own. My dad was born. My sister was, a total loss. I couldn't even really be that for others. I couldn't be that for myself. It wasn't until years later when I kind of started really getting to it, what happened, better understanding of it. Like my agent said, he does have 8 grandchildren. 6 of them is mine, and that's something that I battle with every day. Like they don't even know him, never. They don't know who he is, and that's something hard to deal with. And I mean, it's a tough situation on both ends. But all I have to say is if life is what they gave them, then that's what you got. You know what I'm saying? That's how I honestly feel. That's all I can say on that. Like I said, it's a tough situation on both ends, but I stand firm on that.
Okay.
That's how I feel about it.
Sir, appreciate you. Thanks for coming. Okay, Ms. Patio, let's ask you a few questions. First off, had you ever stabbed him before?
No, sir. This was the first time.
Yeah, that's the first time you'd ever stabbed him. I thought I may have seen somewhere in there where that you had stabbed him once before.
No,
So
sir.
that was the first time, okay?
Yes, sir.
And, tell me about your tutoring, anger management. That you said that. Tell me, what did you learn from all of that?
With anger management, I know now before I get angry, I need to think about what I'm doing first. It's really changed me because a lot of things happen within the prison, and I have to kind of like stop and think before I react now. In the past, I didn't do that. I just reacted, and that's part of what caused me to be here, not thinking of what I was doing. And I apologize. I'm sorry for all the hurt that I caused the family. I know they still think about it. I think about it. And it hurts.
Okay. And were your bags packed, ready to go?
Yes, sir, they were. My kids' bags were packed, and I was in the middle of packing mine.
Okay. I don't have any questions. I think we've heard it all from both sides, and I've read the report up and down. I do want to say you took a lot of religion classes, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm looking at them. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm looking at right here. So I just wanted to point that out. Okay, I have no further questions.
Great, thank you. Any other questions?
I do. Okay. Okay, I wanted to ask you, they were talking about he had a protective order against him. And this was your house with your children and he came over there. Is that my understanding?
I had been put out of my other home, and he found us a home.
So y'all together? Were y'all staying together?
We were, and I didn't know there was an order at the time.
Okay. Well, I'm very familiar with battered women syndrome and also predominant aggressor. I don't know if the predominant aggressor law was in effect in 1999, but when I hear what was said on your side by your attorney and different people like that, and his past history of violence towards women, it is true that it's very difficult to leave a situation like that. I know that when I used to counsel women that would come into my office at the sheriff's office, I would always do a safety plan. And I would tell them, don't let them know that you're leaving. Leave when they're not there. Never say, I'm going to leave you, because that is, in fact, the most dangerous time of your life. Also, the strangulation. Everybody was saying that happened and that you went to the hospital with things like that. That was deadly. And I will say that with domestic violence, every woman that I ever helped with a funeral, she was in the process of leaving or had left already. So it is the most dangerous time. For the family, I know that the person that you saw, in domestic violence, they don't betray anger outside their home. It stays behind those walls and that door. And it's very direct. So that would be true, that a family member and friends would not see that person. And you have to be living with that person to see that kind of anger come out and cause that kind of fear in a person's life. So I just wanted to say that. A lot of what you said, you know, rings true, and a lot of what the family said rings true also. Thank you very much.
All right. I don't see any other questions. I just wanted to tell you congratulations on earning your GED back in 2012. I made a big note of that. That's a huge, huge accomplishment for you.
Yes, ma'am.
So, Ms. Patio, I don't see any other questions. I think we are prepared to vote. Mr. Freeman?
Okay, it's just like Corey just said, there's gonna be no winners here. This is a bad situation. But my vote today, I think you do have the right to come up for parole. My vote is to commute your sentence to 99 years with immediate parole eligibility.
Thank you.
Mr. Tillis?
I concur with Mr. Freeman.
Mrs. Stapleton?
I concur with Mr. Freeman, and I would like to say one other thing to the family of the victim. I noticed when I was reading the statements about the funeral costs that y'all didn't get any money for that. Is that correct? No restitution? Okay, well, I did want to tell y'all there's a fund called the Crime Victims Reparations Fund, and it does pay for funerals up, and I don't know what it was paying then, either $4,500 or $5,000. So y'all need to just get with your sheriff's office, and the 1 year is waived because you weren't told about it. So don't let that money sit there because that's what it's for, victims of crime. So I did want to tell you about that.
Mr. Craig?
I concur, Ms. Freeman.
Right, and, I agree. I do appreciate the victim's family and what they brought here today, particularly Miss Broussard. Your testimony was very, very moving. I appreciate it. Nothing we do today will bring Roland Roy back. I do believe there was a history of victim of intimate partner terrorism in this case, and it's just a tragedy on both sides of each family. My vote today is the same as Mr. Freeman, that her sentence be commuted to 99 years with immediate parole eligibility. So we will make that recommendation on her.
Thank you.